That sums up your season for most of it.
Yeah, frustrating. Really frustrating. I felt was in a real good headspace going in at half time. A couple of things that we just needed to touch on at half time. We spoke about it, and then we just didn't come out and execute what we spoke about at half time. The message at half time was just got to tidy up our ball control. We was causing them some problems with the shapes that we was running and the intent of our carries and that individual decision making, when to go for an offload and when not to, and when to just take the next tackle, really affected us in that first half. So we spoke about that at half time, and then we come out second half and we don't defend a set, we get hit off the ball, penalty against us, and then we get to last tackle and big Chris Satter obviously gets a little bit of a barge of a type try, dubious if he got it down, very dubious if he got it down. But our mentality has to be better than that, and we have to show more resilience, because the resulting kick-off, we're still worrying about the fact that we didn't get the call off the referee, and Chris goes 60 metres and they go back to back, and then all of a sudden you're 20 points to 12 down, scoreboard pressure's on you, and we start chasing the game with 30 minutes of the match to go. So disappointing. And then even when it got to 20 points to 12, we get back in the game, and then unfortunately we can't take kick off, and the score off the back of us not being able to take kick off, and again it really breaks momentum, and we just aren't quite resilient and tough enough mentally to deal with that sort of pressure and those sort of mistakes. So we've got to dust ourselves down, freshen up and be ready to go again against Hull KR.
You said that you were still thinking about that previous strike. Do you think there is a bit of head noise and the suffering from that, and maybe the overall picture as well?
Yeah, I think so. That was probably evident a little bit, today. When you're in that confident headspace and you're in that zone, so to speak, you don't let things, rattle you. You just get on with the next job and stick to process. Let's just kick down there and defend tough, but there's a little bit of negativity and a feeling of everything's against us, and we need to be better than that.
You're still seeing those effort areas that you want to
like in terms of the contest and the team that you're playing against and the effort. I thought there was some really big efforts as a team, but those efforts end up being misplaced when you don't control the ball. It takes juice out of you with the amount of defending that you have to do, and then when you actually defend some of the big bodies that they've got, it catches up with you, the amount of mistakes that were made. Out of yardage, ball control was at 45% out of yardage. You just can't afford to do that against any team in the competition, let alone Hull FC at their place. So that's a real disappointment.
Obviously weekend off next week, it's a big couple of weeks in it, on the training ground I imagine, and trying to get some reinforcements and stuff. We are a little bit busted, and it's a tough old season. We'll be on the training field. Monday it'll be review, and Tuesday we'll be training, and in on Thursday. So we've got some work to do, but it's difficult at this moment in time. We've got a lot of patched up bodies. Going out onto the field. We lost Riley Dean to a HIA after 10 minutes, so that disrupted our selection, and we had to put Alex Sutcliffe over to that left centre position, and then Brody moves into half. So the stuff that we practiced on during the week with people in certain positions, that goes out the window straight away. Now your plan's a good plan, but some players obviously we're a little bit unfamiliar because of the positions that they play. So then dropping in, it takes a little bit of adjustment, but we need to be better than we was today. You've been linked with Iro. Is he a guy you're interested in?
Yeah, someone we've looked at. I think an offer's been made, and it's basically just a case of seeing if they can get it across the line. So he's someone I think could help us.
So we could see him the next time he comes over in a couple of weeks.
How long's a piece of string? I honestly don't know. The process of recruitment and getting players across the line. You identify the player. You offer them the deal. They may agree, but then there's the other club on the other side of the world, so to speak. They've got to agree to it. So we're working through a process. Hopefully we'll get positive news.
Yeah, so not a done deal.
Not a done deal. No.
We remain confident this group can stay in Super League.
Yeah, obviously, definitely. I think there were signs there. The last 2 weeks, probably the last 3 weeks, there's been some moments in the contest where we're right in it, but unfortunately due to a little bit of lacking confidence and personnel, we haven't been able to nail those moments. The good teams do, and unfortunately, today, the introduction of Taylor and Saty off the bench really give them some impetus from the middle of the field, and they started to punch some holes in us and create some chaos on the back of their carriers. And then when you got Brad Dwyer out the back of those chaotic carriers that those two big blokes did, it makes it a real tough team to play against. Offensively, if we could have just spent a little bit more time in good ball and had a little bit more field position and completed a little bit better, we was causing them some problems. But there's just those moments in the game that we aren't quite nailing.